Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, breaking news out of Letcher County. Kentucky State Police say 2 bodies were discovered at a home in the Big Cowan community with gunshot wounds. Police tell us around 11:20 this morning, 911 got a call and then the caller hung up. Dispatch called back, but there was no answer. When troopers arrived, police say they found the bodies of a man and a woman. Right now, police are just calling this a death investigation. Their bodies are being sent for an autopsy in Frankfort. Police are not searching for any suspects at this time, and they say there were no signs of forced entry at the home. We do have a reporter looking into this further in Letcher County and hope to have much more coming up at 5:30 and 6.
And of course, we're still keeping an eye on the potential for flash flooding, especially as we head into the overnight hours. Remember that flash flood watch still in effect until 8 p.m. on your Thursday. So we still have a little bit over 24 hours. And really the bulk of those showers and storms look to arrive later tonight. Now, another thing we're watching this afternoon is that marginal risk. Remember, that's a 1 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. So a few of those pop-up showers and storms this afternoon and evening could be on the strong to severe side. We're seeing a few pop-ups now. None of them are on the severe side, but just very, very heavy rain. That's really what we've been kind of seeing all day. And these little pop-ups, I promise you, bringing lots of rain into the mountains. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the one over into parts of Morgan County. You'll notice some heavier rain moving into parts of Breathitt, Wolfe County over into Lee County, a little bit into Magoffin County as well. You can see that the one in Morgan County is just north of West Liberty. But these small pop-up showers and storms I was driving around today, they're coming down in sheets, so definitely dangerous, especially if you're out driving. Just bringing heavy, heavy rain, and this trend continues with more widespread chances as we head into the rest of those overnight hours. Temperatures, well, they're into the upper 70s, lower 80s. Definitely feeling very muggy out there because those dew points also in the upper 60s to lower 70s. So feeling oppressive when you step out the door. Like I said, those rain chances really increase as we head into the overnight hours. We'll take a look at that coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right, Paige, thank you. In Washington, a major reversal in the nation's policy on coal. The Trump administration rolled back a rule targeting coal-fired power plants. Today's announcement replaces an Obama-era rule with a less ambitious one that gives states more discretion in regulating the plants. Administration officials now expect new coal-fired power plants to open. Environmental groups, though, are promising court challenges. Current and former pilots testified today before a House panel looking into Boeing and the 737 MAX airliner. The aircrafts remain grounded following 2 deadly crashes overseas. CBS's Chris Van Cleve reports from Washington.
I can tell you firsthand that the startle factor is real, and it's huge.
Retired pilot Captain Sully Sullenberger, who safely made an emergency landing on the Hudson River in 2009, told members of Congress Wednesday pilots should be required to get new simulator training before the 737 MAX is returned to service.
We should all want pilots to experience these challenging situations for the first time in a simulator and not in flight with passengers and crew on board.
The 737 MAX was grounded following 2 deadly crashes, the first in Indonesia last October, then Ethiopia in March, killing a total of 346 people. Both investigations are focusing on a flight control system called MCAS, which activated after it was fed faulty information from a sensor.
The huge error of omission was the fact that Boeing failed to disclose the existence of the MCAS system to the pilot community.
American Airlines Captain Daniel Carey, the president of the Allied Pilots Association, told the House subcommittee Boeing's decision to minimize pilot training costs contributed to the crashes.
What would you say your confidence level is right now in Boeing and the relationship you guys have, the information you're getting?
It's a marriage. I'm proud to be a Boeing pilot. I've flown their airplanes for decades. I know they have the expertise to make this airplane safe, and we'll make sure they do.
In an interview with CBS News in May, the CEO of Boeing apologized for the crashes.
Our company is going to do everything possible to ensure safety going forward.
The FAA is reviewing software changes made by Boeing engineers aimed at fixing problems with the 737 MAX, a requirement for the plane to be certified as safe to fly. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington, D.C.
In a show of confidence for Boeing, International Airlines Group, the company that owns British Airways and other carriers, announced it will buy 200 of Boeing's 737 MAX jets. It is the first order for the aircraft. since the crashes. The Senate Foreign Relations Committee held a hearing today on the nomination of Kelly Craft to be the next U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Craft has ties to Eastern Kentucky through her husband, Hazard native Joe Craft. He is head of Alliance Resource Partners. Kelly Craft would take over the post that's been vacant since Nikki Haley stepped down at the end of last year. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell recommended Craft for the position. President Trump nominated her. One of President Trump's most trusted former aides is on Capitol Hill today, facing lawmakers' questions about Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report. Former White House Communications Director Hope Hicks is being asked about the circumstances around the firing of former FBI Director James Comey, as well as the 2016 Trump Tower meeting that Donald Trump Jr. had with a Russian national he hoped had dirt on Hillary Clinton.
I'm watching obstruction of justice in action. You have the White House asserting absolute immunity, which is not a thing. It doesn't exist. And you have to ask the question, what are they trying to hide?
The House Judiciary Committee is also expected to ask her about hush money payments the president's former personal attorney made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. 5 young people in Alaska are facing murder charges in a disturbing case that sounds more like a horror movie than reality. Police say 18-year-old Denali Bremer was induced online to murder her best friend. Bremer became friends online with someone who she believed was a wealthy man named Tyler. Tyler, police say, offered Bremer $9 million if she would kill someone. The man then requested photos and videos as proof. But Bremer did not know Tyler was a fraud. His real identity is 21-year-old Darren Schillmiller. Now, police say on June 2nd, Bremer took her best friend, 19-year-old Cynthia Hoffman, and killed her.
All I know is my daughter didn't deserve all this. She should have had the friends that she wanted.
Hoffman's body was thrown into the Alaskan River. Her father said his daughter had a learning disability that he believes made her vulnerable. Bremer, Schillmiller, and 2 minors are facing first-degree murder charges. Investigators also found video of Bremer sexually assaulting a 15-year-old. Police say Bremer admitted Schillmiller directed her to commit that crime as well. A UN investigator is pointing a finger at Saudi Arabia's powerful crown prince for the killing of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi visited the Saudi consulate in Istanbul last year to get a marriage license, but was never seen again. It is believed he was murdered and dismembered. His body was never found. The journalist was a prominent critic of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The Saudis repeatedly denied the Crown Prince was behind the murder, instead blaming 11 rogue Saudi operators.
What needs to be investigated is the extent to which the Crown Prince knew or should have known of what would have happened to Mr. Khashoggi.
The 101-page report calls on the UN to launch a criminal investigation into the 31-year-old prince and suggests sanctions on his assets abroad. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Wednesday afternoon. The Dow closes up today more than 38 points. A construction-based ministry called Mountain Outreach began at the University of the Cumberlands in 1982 when 2 college students befriended an elderly man living in a home heated only by a few logs of wood. Not long after Dave Emmert and Robert Day's friend died of frostbite, their passion to help others grew. For 37 years, students have kept the ministry alive and have built 151 homes. Whether the project is building a house, a wheelchair ramp, or lawn work, each one has meaning to the volunteers.
Whatever we're building is just a platform in order to share God's love with the people we come in contact with.
Folks living in these homes do pay a mortgage, but because Mountain Outreach is a nonprofit organization, these families only pay the material cost of the home interest-free.
President Trump makes it official. I'm Nicole Killian in Orlando with highlights from his 2020 campaign launch, plus how much he's raised since his big announcement.
And more soggy weather is on the way, but when will we see a rain break? I'll have a look at that full forecast next.